So for robotics, please tell me if I'm ever cutting out, but for robotics, I've been studying it since about sixth grade. I got into a program for robotics at my local school. And from there, I was able to basically just work on robotics and study it. And I was able to build a couple robots over the time. And then I was also able to go into the competition and basically compete with my robot, where I made it to Worlds and the international competition. And then I basically continued my studies and started working on building robots for like drones and stuff for flying, and also for robots for like manufacturing and for sensing and like basically like remote controlled vehicles and stuff like that. Hopefully that helps.
Yes. Ask for more information based on the report.
So, Sam, should we tell him to start? Yeah.
All right. So since this meeting is limited, I'm gonna have to start right now.
Yeah, he's going to have to start.
Uh, can you guys hear me clearly? If you can, please type yes in chat if you guys can hear me. Oh, so robotics is all about yes, it does have content about data science. Data science is actually pretty important when it comes to robotics, because it's a pretty foundational part of basically gathering memory for, like, especially when you're programming the robot. If you need to basically just record information like sensory information, or like to pull it back and to use it later for like analyzation, or just for the robot to basically sense things and make actions based on that sensory inputs, then that's where data science would come involved, and there'd be a lot of programming around that data science as well, and basically just technical coding. I hope that helps with that. All right, so I'm going to start now since we're limited on time. So I'm Nathan, your instructor from Ignited Minds, which I'm sure you've heard of because that's the program that is trying to run all of this. And I'm here to just basically give you today a little short introduction on robotics and engineering and what it represents. So yeah, this is the first lesson of, I'm sure. So you may be asking what it is. I'm pretty sure you guys have all heard of robotics, but what does it mean? I mean, it's an industry and a work and a field that encapsulates the entirety of automation and innovation. I mean, by constructing these robots, we can create new inventions and basically allow us to access new pathways to things that we couldn't do before. And some primary examples are the Mars rovers, which have been heavily involved in collecting samples and returning them from Mars. And this has helped with planetary research and possibly future colonization. Who knows? And rovers such as NASA's Curiosity have collected rock samples, and also drones and satellites from SpaceX have allowed us to capture images of Mars surface and have allowed us to scan those images to basically understand the geography of Mars and the layout of it. And it can allow us to just understand more about Mars as a planet, and also more of our planet as well, because of how Mars was formed. We can learn a lot from that. And the Boston Dynamics robot, the robot shown in these are the robots shown in the pictures to the right here. And these have been used as basically dog robots, and they basically are used for law enforcement, military investigation, like searching for explosive devices and basically helping to detonate them and to help clear them, and even fire and rescue, such as helping with the transport of like basically the transport of patients and also medical supplies from like an ambulance to a medical site. And nanotechnology, although it's very difficult to see, nanoscopic robots are becoming a center point of study for medical technology and research. Their small ability allows them to work like a controlled pill, which we can use to basically inject medicine into different parts of the human body. And this can help to cure lung cancer, modify genetic code, and basically just help to eliminate diseases within humans, and just overall increase the health and efficiency of our medical industry. And why it matters. I mean, the significance. Robotics serves as an ever-growing field, as I said previously, and it has helped to innovate and basically grow a bunch of different industries, such as I said, the medical industry, the space industry, and even under other industries, which I'll mention in a little bit. And as you'll see later, it can positively transform those different industries and make them more efficient, effective, and advanced. And not only that, it can influence you. Imagine if you had a robot to help you with chores. That could give you more time to work on your hobbies or to pursue things that you enjoy and want to do. So through robotics, we can shift our focus on what needs to be done to what wants to be done. And maybe it's still not interesting to you yet. However, it's becoming more present within our day-to-day lives. In theater, robotics is helping with filming, sound recording, and overall just light control and increasing the quality of the movies that we've watched. If you look at movies from 20 years ago compared to now, they're just so much more crisp and so much more efficient and effective when it comes to filming because there's robotics behind improving everything that comes within movies. That's why they're just so much better nowadays. And not only that, in teaching, robotics can be used to teach not just engineering, but also other foundational STEM concepts, which I'll show you on the next slide. So how it works, well, number one, you brainstorm. Let's say you have a problem. You have to think of that problem. Let's say you want to try to have a robot climb a pole, and that's your problem. How do you make the robot climb the pole? Two, you design a robot, you create sketches, you create CADs. CADs are basically computer aided designs, which is what the acronym stands for. And those are basically designs that you can make on your computer that are basically 3D models online that you can use to basically plan and prototype your robot. And then the third step is to construct. And you would build your ideas using those prototypes of your design models. And you would basically make like a preliminary stage of that robot, which you could use to basically test and basically analyze, try to improve and refine. And then number four is reiterate, as I said. So you would test for results. You would see, if that robot can climb the pole, and then you would analyze those results. How fast can it climb? Is there any issues with the climbing? And then from that, let's say there was an issue with the robot having traction. Then you make the robot have more traction. You make the wheels tighter. You make the wheels out of a different material to help them have more traction. And that's how you would improve. And this is the engineering design process and the basis behind basically a majority of robotics design out there. And here's a bigger model for later if you ever want to know that. And this is just a bigger scale that just goes more in depth into the model. So Vex Robotics, this is the robotics that I participate in myself, and it's an introduction because it's a very good robotics program to get into, especially if you're new to robotics engineering and you want to have a springboard to basically enter robotics as a field. So here's a short video on this year's competition game. So that was just an introduction to the the 2023-2024 game. And as you saw, the robots may have looked a little bit, I would say, lame or just, underbuilt compared to other robots. But I can assure you that if you do the competition, the robots are much more complex and can become much more complex than that. So, yeah. So this is basically Vex Robotics' message, and it's to inspire students. And it was established so I'm just gonna give you a quick history background on it. So it was established in 2004 by the REC, which is the Robotics Educational Corporation. And Vex Robotics has been a competition and learning experience for many students, including myself, introducing them into the field of engineering while teaching them many vital concepts. Like when I started robotics, I had no idea what a robot even was back in like 2 years ago. But now, because of the experience I've learned from this competition, I basically understood a ton of stuff that I would have never understood without robotics. And honestly, it's inspired me to pursue robotics in the future as a career path, because not only do I think it's interesting, I think it's fun and it's something that I want to do for a living. So, and here's a quote from the REC Foundation, and it's, "We aim to create tools that educators and mentors use to shape the learners of today into the problem-solving leaders of tomorrow." Their main goal is to basically take people who may not know what they want to do or have an interest in robotics, but don't know how to pursue it, and to basically provide them the tools necessary to allow them to pursue that career and to pursue that passion that will allow them to basically understand more about robotics and to just grow and develop into engineers. And here are some statistics that I'd like to share. So 2007 was the inaugural year and the first ever competition year. So even though it was established in 2004, they had their first competition and the first world's competition in 2007. 2018 was the year when Vex Robotics became the largest robotics program, excelling past other robotics programs and basically becoming the biggest program for robotics in the entire world. And overall, there are about 30,000 participants in Vex Robotics worldwide. And you guys can be the 30,001. So, I mean, if you enjoy it and you want to participate in it. So, yeah. And what truly is Vex Robotics? So, although it may look like it's just, building and designing and programming a robot, it's more than that, I believe. So, I believe here are 3 concepts that I put down. It's innovation. I mean, it's a program where you're nurtured to basically pursue robotics. There are design forums online that have thousands of posts and thousands of pieces of information that you can use to learn and improve. And you have to basically understand the challenge that's given to you and innovate and create something that will best, combat that challenge and solve the challenges that you are given from that initial challenge. Because with every challenge, there's always challenges to complete that challenge. And creation, I mean, it inspires creation. Every year, it's a new game, it's a new challenge, and you always have to be creative with what you have. You may not always have the parts you need to build what you want to build. So from wheel types to mechanisms to metal sizes, you have to constantly be creative and create things that may not be straightforward, but are innovative and are basically something that will encapsulate what you want your robot to do. And more than that, it teaches teamwork. Before I did robotics, I always did group projects alone, but because of robotics, you basically have to work with a team. You have to work with an alliance. So you will always meet other people, and you will always have to talk to other people and develop relationships with them. Relationships are one of the most important things in robotics. And as a participant, as I said, you're obligated to meet new people, work with them, and spend countless hours collaborating with them. Your team members, if you stick with them, will be some of the people that will be able to work with and talk with for many years of your life and many years after you do robotics as well. They'll become some of your closest friends, especially if you work well together and have good communication. And from writing a notebook about what you build or to like drafting your programming strategies, you will be forced to discuss your ideas alongside others, and you will be forced to create those relationships and enhance them. So if you're interested, or it sounds sort of interesting to you, and you want to learn more about the expansive community that Vex Robotics has to offer, feel free to save this link here, vexrobotics.com, and to access it later, because there's a lot of information on here to get you started if you want to start doing robotics. A lot of videos, a lot of advice about robotics that if you want to learn about robotics, you could access it here. There's the Vex forums, which have a ton of information on them, and also just a bunch of videos about programming, data science, as I heard someone ask earlier, AI algorithms and just basically the introductions to robotics. And that's basically all I have for you today. So thank you for attending this Ignited Minds robotics session introduction. And I hope you learned something, or just, even if you didn't learn something, if you, found robotics to be a little bit more interesting after this. So that's all that really matters to me. Thought that robotics is somewhat cool. But yeah. Does anyone have any questions? Feel free to send them in chat.
Hello, Nathan.
Yeah, hello.
Thank you for this session.
Yeah, of course.
I wanted you probably to go a little bit to the video,
Yes.
so that you can explain to the students what is happening in that video.
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit. Can you repeat what you said?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you right now. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted you probably just to go a little bit back to the video.
So your audio is basically like bouncing back, and it's just like echoing, so it's kind of disrupting it. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit clearer now.
Yeah. I'm kindly asking you if you could go back to the video.
The video? Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, then at least you explain to the students what is happening with the robots there.
Oh yeah, of course. So if you see here, as the announcer suggests, there are 4 different robots, and there are 2 different alliances, and each alliance has 2 different robots, a red alliance and a blue alliance. And those robots will basically compete against each other, and the main goal of the game is to score as many points as you can. There's a 15-second autonomous period at the start of the match where all of these robots will start off the match basically pre-programmed, and they'll have to accomplish a set of tasks that you program or want it to complete. After that, there's the 1 minute and 45-second driver period, which is basically where you get to control the robots yourself using whatever mechanisms you add onto it. There are teams that have added shooters and stuff and launchers to basically launch these green tri-balls, that's their name, to over and across the field to basically make it easier for them to score. And other teams have also added wings using pneumatics. So they use air pressure to deploy like a wall that allows them to push these tri-balls into the goals more easily. And the main objective of the game is essentially to get as many of these green tri-balls into the goal as possible, because they're worth the most points and it's the most efficient to do. And these robots also usually sometimes have a climbing mechanism, which allows them to climb these poles, and points are scored relatively. So the robot that's the tallest or the highest from the ground will get 20 points. The second highest will get 15, and the next one will get 10 and then 5 respectively. And then you have to be elevated. So let's say that you're still touching the floor, then you won't get any points at all. And basically the main priority of this game is to score as many points, and the main competition style is that there is a basically qualification or round robin, which is basically where you and your team compete with random alliances against other random alliances, and basically you have to try to win as many of those matches as possible. And from there you'll go on to eliminations, which is where you choose your own alliance and you stick with that alliance through a set of matches from round of 16 to semifinals to quarterfinals to semifinals to finals. It's kind of like a football tournament or something like that. And from there, the winner of that will get awards. And depending on how well your robot is built or how well it performs, you can get awards for that, which can allow you to qualify from your region to like a regional competition. Like here in America, we have states competitions. And then after that, if you qualify at those state competitions, get to go to the world competitions, which are hosted in Dallas. And from there, those are pretty prestigious, and it's also a very fun event, I have to say, if you do make it.
Wow, no, that's quite amazing. We greatly appreciate now, because there was no explanation at the moment when you're giving us the video.
Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Yes. No, much appreciation.
Yeah. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask me about the video. If any of the students have questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Yeah.
Maybe let me also find out in terms of the materials that are required to build the robots.
Oh yeah, they are all on the link I sent. So let me try to pull it out. They're all on. Oh, this. It's all on this link right here, vexrobotics.com. They're all the materials. You can buy all the parts from here, and everything is listed on there. It's all one incorporated site. So there's everything. Everything is on there.
No, that's
Yeah.
great. After this session, then we'll visit this website to learn more about Vex Robotics.
And yeah, everything. And there's also a ton of informational things that are on there, like more videos, and also like lessons and articles about robotics and stuff that goes deeper into everything that robotics is about, advanced robotics. Yeah. So does anyone have any questions that I can answer before this meeting ends because of the time limit?
Go ahead and ask us.
Can I pay some money through robotics?
Sorry, your message is also echoing.
Can you go ahead?
Yeah. If you want, you can try sending it in chat. I can also answer it from there.
Hi guys, I'm just used to.
By doing the robotics competition. For the robotics competition, if you do well, there is a prize sum that's awarded at Worlds. I believe it's about $10,000 that if you do win the Worlds competition, you get that amount alongside a bunch of trophies and medals and stuff. As for career, I mean, robotics is one of the most rapidly growing careers, I have to say. Engineers are becoming very well wanted in the world. There's a high demand for engineers. So if you do pursue robotics as a career, you can make a lot of money, and it'll open up a lot of opportunities, especially like if you want to go into other industries like aerospace, or to go into like medical. There are a lot of there's a lot of work opening up for engineers and for robotics technicians within those fields of work that if you want to pursue, you could pursue through robotics. And also it's pretty well paying as well, if you are wondering about that. I believe an entry-level job internationally is about $80,000 a year for entry level starting off, if that answers your question. All right, so does anyone have any other questions?
Hello, Nathan.
Yes.
I just wanted to find out maybe students in this other quarter of Africa.
Yeah.
Is there any program where they can get some of the materials maybe at subsidized prices since they are students?
I believe they do offer a scholarship program basically that can help, if like for an educational scholarship program, where if you do purchase it for school or educational purposes, they will give a bit of a discount on some of the parts.
Okay.
And it's a general scholarship, like you can apply for it anywhere. I know some schools here in America have applied for it because they don't have enough money to fund for it, so they have to use the scholarships. So yeah.
Okay, no, that's great. Please go ahead.
What are we learning in the next session? So basically, the next session is probably just going to be more of a deeper dive onto the specifics of robotics and Vex Robotics. I'll probably start introducing more about the game and game strategy, and also designing, because as I said, there's the design process here. So I'll start introducing that, and basically introducing how robotics is tied into all of that, because that's pretty important. Because of course, before you design a robot, you have to before you build a robot, you have to design it and basically come up with what you want to make. So that's probably what the next session is going to be about. And then after that, it'll probably dive into actually, building the different parts and all that. And then after that, probably programming, diving into possibly AI and algorithms and just sensory information and all stuff like that.
Well, thank you so much, Nathan. It has been a wonderful session. I believe if the students have any other questions, we can still post them on the forum.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's been a pleasure to be with here and teach you guys and just try to introduce you to all this. I love robotics, so I'm happy if someone else also enjoys it and wants to pursue it. So thank you for attending this. I know it's a bit of your time, so I'm glad that you came. And I hope this, as I said, I hope this was somewhat interesting for you guys, and I hope you guys
No, my
enjoyed it.
pleasure too, and thank you so much for your
Yeah.
time.
Thank you for coming as well. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
bye-bye.
All right, bye. Yeah, you guys are free to leave now.
You're all out.